Anita loved Martin with all her heart. He was her partner, her friend, her confidant. They had started with nothing, just dreams and determination. Anita was the brains behind their growing business selling land properties. Martin would help, but she was the one closing deals, chasing clients, convincing buyers. When a sale went through, the check had her signature, but her heart told her, Martin and I are one. What's mine is his.
We are glad you are watching Halawa Digital. Get inspired.
So one day, she transferred all the business documents and wealth into Martin's name. She even gave him the checkbook. She told herself, this is love. We build together. Then came their first child. Joy filled their home. A few years later, Anita became pregnant again. But during the second delivery, something went terribly wrong. Complications nearly took her life. She survived, but she was weak and bedridden for weeks. That's when things began to change. When money reached Martin's pocket, so did arrogance. He began dressing differently, talking differently, going out more often, coming home late, sometimes not at all. Martin had discovered the taste of money, and with it came women. At first, Anita ignored the whispers from neighbors until she saw it with her own eyes. One afternoon, as she struggled to recover, she called him. He ignored her. Later, she learned he was at a hotel with another woman, a younger, flashy girl who now rode in Anita's car, sat in Anita's former office, and smiled with Anita's former clients. Martin became a stranger in his own home. He stopped paying school fees. He stopped providing for the children. One day, Anita's eldest son, just 6 years old, stole a loaf of bread from a neighbor's kitchen, not because he was bad, but because he was hungry. Anita cried that night until her eyes swelled shut. She felt abandoned, worthless, and invisible. One evening, she stood at the edge of her apartment balcony, tears blurring her vision. Behind her, her children were crying. She whispered to God, "Is this how my story ends?"
When the night is long and hope feels gone, when the tears fall down like endless rain, you hold my heart through every storm. You never fail.
Just then, her phone rang. It was Joseph, an old friend from her college days. They met in a small cafe the next day. Anita wore her oldest coat, no makeup, no pride, just pain. When Joseph asked how she was, Anita broke. She told him everything: how she built the business, how she transferred it to Martin, how Martin became promiscuous and abandoned her, how her children now stayed home for lack of school fees, how her baby had stolen bread. She cried until her voice cracked. Joseph said nothing at first. He simply reached into his pocket and pulled out a bundle of notes. 100,000 shillings, he said softly. Pay the school fees, clear the debts, feed the children. Then he slid an envelope across the table. Inside was a land title. Sell this, Anita. It's under your name. Earn commission. Start again. Anita could hardly believe it. That night, she worked until midnight, designing flyers, making calls, advertising the property. Then came a miracle. The government was looking for land in that exact area to build a hospital.
We are glad you are watching Halawa Digital. Get inspired.
They offered the highest bid. Anita closed the deal and earned a 5 million shilling commission. She wept again, but this time from joy. Months later, Anita opened her own real estate firm called Kalawa Properties. She took over the market, advertising on radio, attending business expos, hiring staff. Her children returned to school, not just any school, but the best. One would later join university abroad. Her home was filled with laughter again. Meanwhile, Martin's world crumbled. Without Anita's skills and discipline, the business collapsed. The mistress left him, taking whatever was left. Martin ended up in a single room, unshaven, alone, and broke. He tried calling Anita. He wrote letters. He waited outside her gate for hours. One day, Anita drove home in her black Range Rover after a business trip. She saw Martin by the gate. He looked older, weaker, desperate. She walked past him. He called her name. She turned, looked him in the eyes, and said, "I forgave you, but I can't go back. My children are watching." That night, on her balcony, Anita gazed at the city lights and felt the weight of every tear she had shed. She had survived betrayal, loneliness, and hunger, and risen. Today, Anita speaks at women's conferences across the country, telling her story with tears and laughter. Her real estate company is now among the best. Billboards carry her face. She signs million-shilling deals over coffee in five-star hotels. Anita's life became a testimony that a woman's worth is not in who stands beside her, but in who she becomes when she stands alone. She ends her speeches saying, "Don't hand over your crown in the name of love. Build together, but sign with wisdom. God sees. He repays in His time."
We are glad you are watching. Halawa Digital. Get inspired.